Stay a while and listen.
Welcome back, my Diablo 2 brethren. This is episode 4 of the economy free Fire Sorceress. We just finished Act 3 in the last video. Beat Mephisto on P8. We are now moving forward into Act 4. So, what I've noticed so far is the levels have finally started slowing down a little bit. So, I finished Act 1 at level 20. I finished Act 2 at about 26. Maybe 27, and I just finished Act 3 at level 30. So I'm Act 30, or level 30, starting Act 4. Things are holding up pretty well as far as skills go. I think being a caster, being able to do things on P8 has been a lot easier because my damage scales very well with level, versus if I was a melee character, I would be needing to find weapons. And so far, um, skill tree looks like such. I've been pouring my skills into Firebolt for the synergy into Fireball. Fireball is my main skill because of the AoE. However, the increased mana cost with each skill has been a problem for me with subpar gear, which is why I opted to start going for synergies. I also didn't spend any of the points that I went through in Act 3 just to save up both for Fire Mastery and for Hydra and for Enchant. So I have 3 skills. We're going to finally start to transition into Hydra. I need to see what those do. I think Hydra is going to be a supplement, but this here will still be my primary. I don't know much about hybrids or how much the hybrid um, I guess fire plus coal is probably what I would end up doing when I get to hell. I'm not really sure. Fires could be the major. I don't know how much damage Hydra does, if it's a good skill or not a good skill. I've never really played one before, but that's what I'm going for. So let's just look here, see what we got. So I'll put my point into enchant. Hydra is currently 22 to 31. That's probably per hit. If there's 6 Hydras and they spit pretty frequently, it's probably pretty solid damage. 29 to 41. And my fireball is, let's call it 200. So those two will probably be pretty equivalent in terms of mana per second, and DPS remains to be seen yet though. But that is my plan for now. We are going to bind this one. We'll put it to RB, I think. And that's that. So another thing with the levels, obviously in Act 1, I pretty much did a kill everything run. I had to kill a lot of guys to be able to even kill things at P8 and deal with my mana issues, and then things balanced out pretty well in Act 2. I didn't do kill everything, but I did clear a lot of the maps. When I got to Arcane, I had to go through all 4 wings to get it. I didn't do any extra tomb runs or anything like that. In Act 3, I pretty much made a beeline straight to the end. I did what I could to get through it as fast as possible. Have not done any additional Mephisto runs or anything like that. With the levels that I have, I will likely ultimately just scale back and do bail runs once I finish Act 5, even if I can no longer do P8, for example. But now with Act 4, obviously this one's going to be shorter, so I'm expecting even fewer levels from this year. I am at 30 and a half right now. It's If I finish Act 4 higher than level 33, I think that'll be, you know, about what I expected. I only gained about 3 levels in Act 3, and Act 4 is even smaller. Um, but I might have to go back and level up too. I don't know how I'm going to hold up against Act 4. There's lots of souls and other those knights and stuff that um, do the various curses and such. So the nice thing about the Hydras is it is mana conservation. They do stay out there for quite a bit, and it's less of me having to spam Fireball, so that's good. Um, but I think placement and their targeting is going to be an issue as well. But yeah, we're gonna be in for this. My resistances, I do have good fire resistance, mediocre lightning resistance right now. So if those souls come to play, I might have some troubles. Fireball looks like it handles regular guys pretty good. I think the only thing that's gonna bug me as far as mana consumption is um, the wasted time on hydras. So there's probably some optimization that I will need to master in terms of large groups. Hydra's gonna shine because they'll be out there for longer. Smaller groups, they're going to finish everything off and then they'll be just sitting here. I can tell you already though, I really like the Hydra. Even if it's hard to manage, you know, I spend most of my days doing summon Necro, so I'm used to sitting back as it is. So I think it's going to be fun to kind of treat these as summons. So each Hydra is 3 heads, and so they shoot 3 of them at once. So if we looked at it, basically it's going to be, call it 35 for things. So each Hydra will do about 100 per volley. So if I put 6 of them out there, that'll be 600 every second or so. I might be able to just cruise through this. I don't know. We'll see what happens when I get to Iswal, when I need to actually dish out some big damage. I think at some point the fireball just may go away. I think if I end up doing hybrid in hell difficulty, primary skill is probably going to be something like Frozen Orb, and then Hydras will just be doing all the side damage. I do feel a lot safer with the Hydras right now. They're kind of hitting people at a distance before they get to me, so anybody that's closing the distance. Trying to time out the DPS here. It's pretty significant. They look like they attack about once per second, so I like that. Casting delay is very, very minimal. I think I can get 6 of them out there without any worries at all. I think Hydras will be a huge advantage against Diablo too when I have to run around, so I don't have to sit and worry about you know, faster cast rate and stuff like that, and getting my skills off. I still don't have any bases for Spirit or Insight yet, and I don't have the runes for it yet either, so I'm not up to full runes yet. I also am nowhere close to a soul rune. I'm guessing I probably won't find a soul until Nightmare, unfortunately. So Insight may be a long ways off. Spirit, I'm optimistic for. I can always go back and do some Countess runs. I consolidated all my runes and gems before I jumped in here, so I could take better stock. But I'm 1 rune away from both Spirit and Insight, so I need the full, I think, and I need the soul. All right, here we go with Iswal. I'm going to start off without using static, just see how good the Hydras do. One thing I've noticed as I'm playing through this, it is very obvious to see people or monsters that are pretty high in fire resistance versus just the high health from P8. Pretty obvious, if you ask me. We know Iswal is very, very tanky, so this is not surprising. Rather than screw around, I'm just going to take him down. Should take care of him there. nothing but heavy gloves. Cost of Hydra increases per. I was worried about that. But the damage goes up with no overlap, so that's good. So it's end-to-end damage increase, so that's good. Alright, time to take on the Armorer. How much mana? We'll see if I can beat him without going back to town. Guessing probably not. He would need to make himself known real quick here. Just got him. Alright, let's see what Mephisto left for me in his will. A Rahl. I'll take a Rahl. Alright. I think the approach to Chaos is going to be pretty much a cakewalk, much like it is with an Archer. I'm going to have a lot of control over just sitting back and firing off range because of the narrow lanes and the lava moats. Might be a few instances where they creep up on me like this, but I think by and large this will be vastly superior and easier to actual Chaos Sanctuary. Chaos Sanctuary, I'm a little bit concerned about. What's his name? Whatever the guy's name is on the far right. Infector of Souls. Alright, so I've cleared out the entire Chaos Sanctuary so I can just do the seals and do Diablo. We'll see how things go here. I'm expecting them to progress in difficulty with first wave being the easiest and least threatening. Desace a little bit more difficult because I believe those guys are pretty strong fire resistance, and if the fanaticism overtakes Durga, we're going to have a problem. And then Infector I'm expecting to be the worst, but that's where we're sitting. I'm going to get some Hydras out there to start with before I start this. Said I don't expect these guys to be difficult. No shame in using static. I do intend to use static on Diablo too, so. Be able to get these guys. Keep them out of the range of Desace and they don't get no aura. Of course he runs and hides like he always does. That went very well actually. Alright. Yeah, these guys are bad news bears, right? Yep, Durga's a kind of a sacrificial lamb there. Rough stuff. Think they would have followed me over here. That'd be a pretty dick move if they did. isolate them and they don't stand a chance. I think these guys got some pretty good fire res too. That's why they're not dying. They no resistance to static though. Alright. Time for the real deal. I'm gonna try and keep Durga alive, but truth be told, he's not the priority here. I'm gonna try and get some cheap statics on him. Shit! I did not see that coming. I should have. I thought I had him. I really did. I really thought I had him. Son of a bitch. We're gonna need Durga back just for distraction, I think. Try this again here. Man, is fast. I thought I could get a couple of quick static blasts on there, but I definitely needed the static. I definitely did. But the Hydras did what I wanted them to do. That was tougher than I thought it would be. He hits a lot harder than Mephisto did, that's for sure. A lot harder. Truthfully, I was only worried about his Hellfire. Never even occurred to me that his lightning shot was going to be a problem. Never even occurred to me. We did it though. That was still a P8 Diablo kill. Only died twice, so feel pretty good about that. But I guess that's that. We're off to Act 5, and then I can get my Ancients Pledge. Go through. I think Ancients are going to be tough for sure. But then I can start grinding out some Bale levels, or even just do some bloody runs or something. I could probably farm some levels if I need to. But where we finished at level 33, so exactly where I thought. Gained 3 levels, and we're about halfway through again. So I expect I'll probably gain a few more in Act 5 because Act 5 is bigger. But all things considered, it was very successful. So hope you enjoyed it. Taro Dune, and hail to you, champion. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.